Greetings and welcome to Friday Takeaway. This is, of course, Friday 18th of November, and I'm with Max, otherwise known as Sulhi Azman. Let's talk about some global developments, Max, and the fact that Barcelona Football Club, they've just done a deal with the Japanese online retailer Rakuten, £220 million, about 50 million odd pounds for jersey sponsorship. That's a fantastic news. There's also another development over around the world. India scrapping their big notes, the 500 rupee and the 1000 rupee note. So basically, it means that I think Narendra Modi wants to continue this war on cash that we've seen with Sweden, that we've seen with the Americans and the Europeans as well.
Yeah, they have actually removed a 500 euro bill.
That's right, that's right. So, yeah, exactly. And there's also some stuff in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, correct. They want Donald Trump on his election to block oil imports. You know, I mean, of course, Saudi Prince earlier this year had a spat with Donald Trump when one of them calling the other, it's like a kettle calling the pot black.
Exactly. Also, Snapchat filing for IPO worth $25 billion potentially. Also in Malaysia, moving to the domestic scene, Max, we saw the ringgit currency and still very much under pressure among other emerging market currencies. Right now trading about 4.4, dropped to as much as 4.51 intraday last Friday. Bad news.
Yeah, and of course, CIMB Research has forecast that the ringgit could actually hit between 4.5 to 4.8 by the end of this year, as they see many volatilities in the currency market.
Exactly.
And of course, Bank Negara is telling the traders not to do NDF trading, offshore trading, right?
Correct. So otherwise known as non-deliverable forwards, otherwise known as the futures market, otherwise known as the offshore price, and Bank Negara telling traders to not satisfy or execute those deals. So basically, some kind of mini capital controls going on. In terms of some key corporate developments during the week, Max, we saw how Japan is pitching to supply some trains to our KL high-speed railway rail line between KL and Singapore. Obviously, that comes good for them. It's going to be very good for Shinzo Abe.
Right, of course, and of course, the Japanese are also competing with the Chinese parties.
Exactly.
We see the ECRL contract being awarded to China companies. Who will get the deal, whether the Chinese or the Japanese people? It remains to be seen.
Of course. Also, Telekom Malaysia signing a 15-year contract with Tan Sri Sat Mokhtar Al-Bukhari's MyTV to provide infrastructure for about 916 million ringgit. That's actually quite good for them. Also in the news, Astro reportedly considering a privatization.
And of course, yesterday in Bursa filing, they mentioned that they have not received any confirmation. This is very interesting because they neither deny nor confirm. They just say that they haven't received any confirmation from the shareholders.
But that's at management level. But at shareholder level, we don't know. Also, Sime Darby exploring a listing and other forms of monetization exercises, including a demerger of their group holding structure, which has been reported for quite some time now, for at least a couple of years.
Yes, and it's very interesting, Chuang, because PNB chairman, Tan Sri Omar, before this he was also the TM CEO, where he saw the breaking up or the merger between TM, also TM International.
Very good point. Exactly.
Okay. Again, we have another news. Scientech setting up a first stretch film manufacturing plant in the US with an investment of 107 million ringgit.
Exactly. And also some news from WCT winning a job from MRT Corp for about 900 million ringgit to build a viaduct gateway in Bandar, Malaysia. Let's look at some macro news. And in Malaysia, vehicle sales data for October has just been announced, down 14% on the year to about 48,000 units. Obviously, the whole year has been quite bad for car sales. I think sentiment is poor. Bank financing is quite hard to come by, and there's a pretty dire picture for the car sector in Malaysia.
Yeah, correct. Even the MAA is saying that we are not going to see those kind of levels that we see before. The sales is about 600,000 TIV per year, and I think this year is going to become slightly less than about 580,000 if we can make it there.
That's right. And a very, very small item in the newspapers today about Proton. Now, they're going to take until the end of March to reveal their final decision on who the suitors are going to be. They've narrowed it down from 14 to 3 and 3 to 1 by the end of March. No names per se, but in terms of their car sales as well, they've had a pretty bad year. They've dialed back their forecast from about 150,000 units for 2016 to now about 80,000 units, and they've done not very good in terms of the new car launches.
Yeah, correct. And we have yet to see whether Saga, new Persona, and also new Perdana could actually boost sales for Proton. And going to Bursa Malaysia, Chuang at 10:10 a.m. today, trading at 1,624 points. And as I go through the market today, it is still hovering at the same level.
That's right. So on a year-to-date basis, the KLCI is down by 4.1%, but on a one-year return basis, we're just up slightly by 1.2%. On the oil front, some developments on the West Texas crude, around about $45.5 per barrel, and on Brent about $46.5 dollars per barrel.
Yes, correct. And of course, on the ringgit front, you see that it is still at 4.4 trading, and against the Great Britain pound 5.46, and also Australian dollar 3.25. For every ringgit trading.
Okay, so specific stocks, Max, the specs were very much in the news this week, driven by Reach Energy. Now they've gotten approval from their shareholders. About 81% have said yes to them buying 60% of a holding company which has got oil fields producing in Kazakhstan.
Yes, correct. And this is in a deal worth about 641 million ringgit. And now, interestingly, Chuang, Reach Energy is the second SPAC set to graduate, from the local SPAC market in Malaysia.
Correct. Following from Hibiscus. So out of the 4 oil and gas SPACs, 2 have graduated or about to graduate, and 2 have gone into liquidation. And the final SPAC is Red Sana, which is the retail F&B SPAC, still looking for a qualifying asset. Very quickly on AirAsia, we saw how shares of AirAsia, the low-cost carrier, has fallen victim the last 1 week to a very weak ringgit. I think ringgit is the worst performing emerging currency the last few weeks, and they traded at 274 a week ago. Today at 259. That's a 6% decline.
Yes, of course. And even Tan Sri Fernandez, I think on Wednesday he mentioned, he tweeted that a full service carrier is headed for big losses as there is no coherent strategy, according to Tan Sri Fernandez.
Well, that's what he would say, of course, would he? Also, the fact that passenger service charges have now been equalized, so it makes it a little bit more expensive to fly on a regional basis. Next week, a whole bunch of earnings, Max. On Tuesday, we see AirAsia third quarter, in fact, AirAsia X third quarter, FGV third quarter, Inari first quarter, and foreign reserves. And that's on Tuesday.
Right, of course, and we have on Wednesday through Friday, we have many companies, ranging from Telecom, Samdabi, AirAsia, Axiata, Kawan Food, MSM Malaysia, and so on. It's a slew of earnings that is set to colour this week.
Correct.
Next week as well.
Correct. And there's one more political development. I think UMNO General Assembly. What's it going to spell, do you think?
I do not know. In fact, before that, are we going to have a birthday event going?
This Sunday. This
Saturday, right? People are saying that they wanted the free and fair election.
Anyway, if you want to have more up-to-date daily news, go to theedgemarkets.com, or you can always go to the papers in terms of the Financial Daily and the Edge Weekly. Thank you for watching. I was joined by Max, Sulhi, Azman, and Khoo, Chuang. Thank you for watching. Good night and good luck.